So I ran into Congressman Nick LaLota today, and here's what happened. I was standing at a registration table for the swearing in of our county sheriff, and he's just standing there. So I walk up to him and introduce myself. He asked how I am, and I said, I am not good. I am horrified about what's happening in our country, and you need to get on the right side of history and stand up and say something and start fixing this. And he just sort of shook his head at me, and I carried on. And I said, are you watching what is happening in Minnesota? ICE is acting lawlessly. And he said, no, they are not. They're not. I said, they absolutely are. I mean, are you kidding me? They're not. They're breaking bones. They're tear gassing children. They're pulling mothers out of their cars and leaving babies in the car. I mentioned the holding a 5-year-old hostage, and he said that is not happening. And I said, yes, it is. And he tried to speak, and I said, I am not finished. And I carried on. And then he said, I can't believe you would do this at a law enforcement event. And I said, ICE is putting law enforcement at risk. This is dangerous for public safety. They are creating and stirring violence and acting lawlessly. And he said that is not true. And I said, it is true. And then he started to walk away and said, you won't let me speak. First of all, a congressman's job is to listen, not speak. Okay. And he was trying to tell me that he needs to tell me the facts. You do not need to tell me the facts. We all know the facts. We're watching it with our own eyes, and we will not be gaslit. I encourage all of you to call Congressman LaLota today, tomorrow, the next day. Keep standing up, keep speaking out. We will not tolerate the fall of our democracy and the rise of fascism and this lawless behavior by ICE. We are done. Do not stop speaking out.